Hey guys, why can't I speak? I haven't done this in a while. Hey guys, hope you're all well. I thought I would come on here today and show you what I've been doing for my makeup during quarantine. But this is just like a kind of a pick-me-up kind of makeup, which makes me feel good, you know, look good, feel good. Hopefully it gives you some inspiration, or if you're like me, you just like watching makeup videos and you're currently sat here in your PJs eating crisps with no makeup. I love it. It's one of my favourite things to do, is to sit and watch makeup videos. So don't feel like you have to go put on makeup. If you want to, you know, be makeup free, then so be it. For moisturiser, I just use the Simple Hydrating Gel Cream. But because it is a gel, I do think it works a little bit better with my oily skin. So for foundation, I use the Born to Glow foundation by NYX. And I like to use that with a damp sponge, just because I feel like it is the quickest, and because it is damp, it does give you a little bit of hydration as well. And I do go a little bit darker, but I still blend it down the neck so it all matches, and the ears. Don't forget your ears. It's my pet peeve when I can see red ears. And then I do another layer on any areas where I've got blemishes, and I always bounce it on to keep the coverage where I put it. And then for concealer, I used the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in this shade Custard. I just pop a little bit of that in the inner corners. I bring it down. I use the same sponge just to blend that in. And whatever's left on my sponge, I just take it across right under the eye. So that way I'm not putting product directly into the creases. Well, my eyes look like two pistils in the snow, but that's fine. For powder, to set that in place, I use the Laura Mercier translucent powder. And if I can't be asked, I literally whack that on with the Spectrum CO3 brush. Because it's nice and big, I just whack it on all over. Because like I said earlier, the foundation is quite glowy on me. I feel like my voice just sounded like I sped it up. Because the foundation is quite glowy on me, I do typically have to set everywhere. Right, so let's sort these hideous eyebrows out because I can't bear to look at them anymore. So I use a Spectrum A24 brush, and I just brush them up with the spoolie side. And I use Omega eyeshadow by MAC to start with. Omega, potato. And I just lightly run that through my brows. I just start at the front, and then from the bottom I just flick upwards. So I use this colour just to kind of lightly fill in the gaps. Like if I was in a massive rush, I would literally just do this. And if I want to give it a little bit more definition, I'll use what is this? A Charcoal Brown by MAC. I use this one for more defining the brow. So I almost kind of like draw a line. I mean, I'm not drawing it because it's not a continuous line, but I create very, very small little strokes, kind of about 1/4 of the way across to the mid part. And then for the end of the brow, I'll spray the brush with anything. So from about halfway, I will draw a line going into the tail to extend the tail of the brow, and then the same from about the arch down, connecting to that same line. And then I just lightly fill it in. Just keep brushing it through. And once once I get to the front, again, I just flick the powder up and soften it with the spoolie. So to warm up my complexion, I'm going to use Dark Deepest by MAC. This is one of the mineralized skin finishes on a Spectrum A04 brush. And I'm just going to pop that on the cheeks just to warm everything up. And also a little bit on the forehead. And using that same Spectrum A04 brush, I'm going to go in with a peachy blusher. This is Like Me, Love Me Mineralized Blush by MAC. And I'm just going to pop that kind of on top of where I put the bronzer and a little bit more on the apple of the cheek. So for highlighter, I'm going to go in with the Beauty Wand highlighter by Charlotte Tilbury. And this is in the colour Spotlight. I squeeze a little bit out the top, pop a bit on the back of my hand, and then go in with a 134 brush by Zoeva. I just take a little bit on the end, and then just pop a little bit on the high points, and then I just use the sponge just to kind of merge it in to my foundation. Then whatever is left on my hand, I'm just going to pop a little bit on the cheekbones and use my finger just to dab it in. I'll always go in with some sort of warm eyeshadow. I'm going to use the new JACLYN Hill palette. I'm going to use the shade Perfectionist, and I literally just work that through my crease, just following the natural shape of my eye. So I'll have my eyes open and I'll just follow the crease and blend it slightly above as well, so that way when my eyes are open I can see exactly where it's going to be. Then I'll add a little bit of I'm Feeling Myself, which is a bright orange. It looks very, very scary, but I promise if you just use a small amount, it just looks super subtle, but adds that little bit more warmth. I'm just focusing it more in the crease of the eye. You can see, although it looks really scary in the pan, if you just do a light wash, it just gives you a really nice hue of orange. And then I do the exact same thing on the lower lash line. So I use a Spectrum A12 brush and just whack that underneath the eye. You don't have to be neat with it because we can blend it out after. I didn't even look in the mirror, just whack it. Follow your lower lash line. And you can just go back in with your fluffy brush and blend the edges. It's just a really quick eyeshadow look that I like to do when I just want to pick myself up, make my eyes look a little bit more interesting. Lastly, for the eyes, I will go in with any highlighter. This one I've got here is Spectrum. This is their Oyster highlighter, and I'll use this to pop on the inner corners of the eye. And again, a really, really simple step, but definitely makes a difference with just kind of opening up the eyes. And the same on the brow bone. Then for mascara, I'm going to use Spectrum Dark Matte Mascara and just whack loads of that on. And then for my lower lashes, I use the Extended Play Mascara by MAC. The wand is really tiny. So next I'm going to move on to lips. So I was going to do a separate video on this, but I might as well show you in this video. I'm just going to pop a little bit of the remainder of my foundation over my lips, because that way I find the lip colour comes out true to colour when you've got a nice blank canvas. But people always ask if I've had my lips done, and no, I haven't had my lips done, as you can see, with nothing on them. They just look regular, but it is all lip liner. So what I do is go in with Spice lip liner first, and I overdraw the lips, kind of using the width of the pencil. So I follow my natural lip shape, and I'm using the side of the pencil and just kind of dragging it down. And then once I get to the bottom, this is where I overdraw. So my lip does stop there, but I continue it down and just fill that in. Just so it kind of looks like it's coming out more and you're just like enhancing the plumpness. And then for the top lip, so when you overdraw your top lip, you always want to start from the corner upwards. Naturally curve the line as you drag it upwards or draw it upwards, whereas when you go from the top down, because you're at this angle, you naturally kind of straighten the line and it doesn't give you that nice curve. So I kind of like pout my lips and I overdraw like that, if you can see the difference. So you're just defining that lip line, because mine is pretty much non-existent, like it curves inwards. So as soon as you add that little bit of depth on the outer edge, you're just giving your lips a little bit more plumpness basically. And you always want to make sure your pencil is nice and sharp so it gives you that nice defined edge. And then when I come to the other side, I kind of hold my pencil like this just so I can get in and curve upwards. I kind of drag the pencil across, because as soon as you enhance that cupid's bow, your lips instantly look more plump. Okay, so then I will go in with any nude liquid lip that I've got. At the moment I'm using Piece of Cake by Makeup Revolution. And then because I'm really extra and I literally use so many lip products, I will go in with a lipstick now. So I kind of go between a few. Sometimes I'll use Myth by MAC, because this is quite a light nude. It's nice to wear on top of like darker pinks or darker nudes, just to lighten up the centre. So I'll just pop this in the centre. When you kind of go lighter in the centre, it kind of brings the centre forward, just making it look more plump. And now I go in with Morphe gloss, and this is in the colour Pop. And I feel like when you use a gloss, it makes them look a little bit more plump because it's got that shine. It's reflecting light off of it and just bringing that area forward. But yeah, that is pretty much it for my feel good makeup. So I hope I got gloss on my teeth. Yeah, I hope you liked it. Let me know if you want to see, oh, I just done that throat burp thing. Let me know if you want to see anything else from me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and you'll see me in my next one. Bye!